Before we begin, I ask all council members to please silence and put away cell phones. If you need to conduct personal business during the meeting, you may make a motion to recess. For those participating by phone, please keep your device muted unless you are speaking. When speaking, kindly state your name for the benefit of those viewing the live stream. As a reminder, this meeting is being broadcast live. The camera is located above the clock at the back of the council chambers. Our proceedings follow Robert's Rules of Order as set forth in Wasilla Municipal Code 2.04.090. To promote an orderly and respectful meeting, I respectfully ask the council to observe the following rules. Please seek recognition before speaking. No member may speak more than twice on the same motion without a vote to suspend the rules. No member may speak a second time until all who wish to speak have had an opportunity to do so. These guidelines help ensure fairness, efficiency, and mutual respect during our discussion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cottle.
Here.
Councilmember Graham.
Here.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Here.
Councilmember Crofton.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
Councilmember Rubio. Here. You do have a quorum, Madam Mayor. All members are present with us in chambers.
Okay. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Rubio, would you lead us?
Yes. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. The first item of business is approval of the agenda. Before changes are discussed, are there conflicts of interest to declare? Hearing none, are there changes to the agenda? Mr. Graham.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, I would like to move item 8.2.1 and 8.2.2 to new business, as well as items 8.3.1 and 8.2 to new business. That was easier to say that than move the whole thing, so.
Madam Mayor,
In other
if
words,
I
you're
may.
going to move the whole thing.
Very
Other-
close. Almost.
Other than the minutes and the AM.
That is
Correct.
correct.
Thank you.
Okay.
However, Madam Mayor, in light of the fact that we are moving a resolution, where are we at here? Nope. Resolution 8.3, where are we at here?
One or two?
We're looking at it here, 8.3.2 to new business. We may want to move item 9.1 into, to be heard after new business, since currently it would be heard as unfinished business.
If I may, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
If I may, to the council, my suggestion is we move the resolution 2536 actually down to unfinished business. They are a team, so to speak, and you can move them in one motion. I think one is dependent on the other. Does that work for you?
Whatever works for you works for me, thank you.
Okay. Is there an objection to the agenda as amended? Hearing none, it is approved. We are now at special orders of the day. There is one proclamation that I will now read. The City of Wasilla proclamation honoring Veterans Day. Whereas our great nation was founded on the belief that all Americans are equal, that all Americans are guaranteed the inalienable right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And whereas in 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed legislation proclaiming every November 11th as a day to honor all veterans of the United States Armed Forces. And whereas on Veterans Day, we honor the men and women who have answered the call to duty, selflessly sacrificing to serve our country and protect the rights of all Americans. And whereas the sacrifices of veterans and their families have preserved the freedoms and liberties we hold dear, ensuring that future generations can live in peace and security. And whereas today, we take the opportunity to show gratitude to our veterans and their family members who call Alaska home, as well as the men and women still serving in the armed forces around the globe. And whereas the City of Wasilla recognizes the important role veterans play in strengthening our community, bringing valuable leadership, resilience, and commitment to service. And whereas we are grateful for their efforts, the sacrifices, and the dedications to duty of our veterans and the men and women currently serving in the armed forces. Now therefore I, Glenda D. Ledford, Mayor for the City of Wasilla, do hereby proclaim November 11th, 2025 as Veterans Day in Wasilla and encourage all residents to join in honoring the extraordinary contributions of our veterans, reflecting on their sacrifices and expressing our deepest appreciation for their service to our country, dated this 10th day of November, 2025. And we are on to Commission and Agency Reports. Wasilla High School Student Representative.
Good evening. I'm Austin Newcity, Student Body President representing Wasilla High School. Begin here with, on October 27th, we had our Halloween Spirit Week, which recently completed with fairly strong participation.
Austin, could you speak up a little bit, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Just get closer to the microphone, please. Thank you.
Each day featured themed dress-up events, and student assemblies saw an excellent turnout. Other groups, such as the choir, contributed to hosting activities like karaoke, further giving school-wide involvement and spirit. On November 3rd was our parent-teacher conferences, which was recently held to support communication between families and staff, focusing on student progress and academic success. On November 27th through the 28th is the upcoming Thanksgiving break. Students and staff are preparing for the holiday break, offering time for rest and family connection before the final stretch of the semester. So November 12th is going to be our community and family engagement, or our cafe initiative, which continues to thrive, strengthening connections between families and the school community. The principal has taken time to personally meet with Wasilla High families to build relationships and gather feedback to improve engagement and the school in general. And our athletics, wrestling, volleyball, and hockey seasons are underway and showing strong progress with athletes demonstrating commitment and teamwork. That's all I have to report.
Thank you, Austin.
Thank you.
And next up is the Director Report, Recreational Services Director.
Good evening, Scott Bell, Recreational Services Director. Purpose of tonight's presentation as a director is just kind of give you a snapshot of what we've been kind of working on the last 4 or 5 months at the Menard Center. Some big stuff, lots of little things, but you can kind of get a collective of all the things that we're doing to keep making our facility even better. There, sorry, all right. So, very excited again to announce the replacement of our turf field, and thank you for those that attended the ribbon cutting ceremony. Very excited about this project's completion. A big part of it was for staff time more than anything. We don't have to paint the lines anymore. We had to paint them like every 2 or 3 weeks. And even better, no more black pellets, so keep hearing all the stories of people that take those things home because of the static. So one of the things that we did with the lining, we built in with the yellow kind of going side to side. We actually have 3-on-3 soccer lines now built in. And then the center line, as you see, goes through. We also put the markers there to indicate 5-yard for any football reference, because they never had any of that. So we kind of dialed this in for a little bit of everybody's usage. Part of our summer projects, painting, and then we did some more painting. So the whole turf field, all the walls, all the way up past to the glass, and some of them have gone up above the glass there, have all been completely repainted. It was all done by staff in-house, and cost us maybe about $1,500 in paint supply. So really made a great impact if you haven't been out there. We replaced the bleacher handrails on the turf. Anytime we had to retract the bleachers, we literally had to unscrew them off the bases and remove them so we could close them off. So these actually pop up, twist, and it saves us a lot of time, a lot of wear and tear because they get stripped out, and we really have had a lot of problems with those handrails. So we got all those replaced and installed again in-house. Here you can kind of see, again, all the painting that's gone all the way up through the mezzanine area, all the way to the top. Oops, sorry. Got the visual in front of me. So we painted all of that. We've finished kind of painting off the skate shack because we keep calling it the skate shack, but we never labeled it. So we thought, okay, let's use a little common sense here. Administrative offices, there's 3 of them. We were excited to replace the three offices that had 22, they've been 22 years there, they're original. So that's been replaced, and then the administrative hallways all been replaced. We had seen a lot of buckling and kind of some of the tiles peeling up, so that's a lot cleaner and a lot safer. We got some custom mats for 1, our seating area, and 2, we use it for puck drops during any of the big events like Guns and Hoses that will be coming up, so we can have people go out, drop the puck. Sometimes we have national anthem singers, things like that, so they can be walking on carpet, not on the ice. One of our kind of problem areas has always been in the front of the building, and we've never had crosswalks or stop signs there. So we had those installed this summer. Again, thanks to Public Works installing those, and we had done the painting for the crosswalks. And as you can kind of see then on the next one, the fire lane striping kind of throughout. People had a tendency to park, even if there was no more yellow lines, they'd like to park in the open space. So we've been marking a clear delineator saying don't park beyond the spot. So a lot of the spaces throughout the back of the parking area have been upgraded with that kind of striping. Just got completed in the lobby. We have our cafe tables, and all along the wall there, we now have electrical outlets because there really were not any. So we have a lot of people that camp out there, whether kids are playing soccer, whatnot. Mom's got her computer, people got their cell phones going and charging. So we've added that. We'll be working on the other side of the lobby in the next month. We have upgraded our projector. We upgraded some of our meeting room tables. So collectively, we're getting the nice training privacy tables. Some of the really exciting stuff, some of our repair work. So one of our boiler number 1, we do have 2 boilers, but boiler number 1 had been down for a while, and that boiler leak is an $8,400 fix. All the stuff is expensive. Next to that in the middle is our kitchen rooftop heat exchanger that blew out 2 weeks ago. That's a $7,400 repair. And our ice plant, we every 5 years we need to replace our pressure relief valves. So those have been replaced there. Just this got up and operating today with electricity. So we did install a new drinking fountain ADA bottle fill station in the main rink. When you first walk in, that window to the left there is the concession window, because we had another drinking fountain, kind of the hockey one in between the other hallway, but it was going to cost probably twice as much to convert it over to refrigerated and the style. So we put that there, so that should get great use. We've gone through, if you've been in any parts of our building, it's concrete or steel. And so A big project is for the locker rooms. We've put up acoustical tiles just to kind of take out a lot of the reverberation, and there's a tendency sometimes the kids might play their music a little bit loud, so it helps contain that a little bit more. We got a full set of flags up. We had only had kind of the American and Alaskan ones there for a while, so we found a nice little corner and kind of in honor, of course, of Veterans Day and such. We've gone through and we replaced all the track lighting with improved LED down lighting, so that's really helped all the way around up on the track. We did that in-house for $2,500. It was over 21 fixtures that we did. A big thank you. So our beautiful new truck. Thursday night, we had a little bit of snow. 30 minutes into my staff being outside in the old truck, and the brackets ripped off of the frame. And so we literally would have had, if we didn't have this other truck, we would not have had any real good opportunity to plow any of the snow. So having a new and redundant backups to our snow plowing was huge, and literally within the first 30 minutes. So on the bottom right there, one of the things on the older truck, what we do have is we had a little 35-gallon diesel tank, so we would run off to Crowley, fill up diesel, then we would pump that into the Bobcat. So that took all that fuel, so every time we had to fill it up, it was a one trip back and forth. So we've upgraded that and made that a little bit larger, so we can do it 3 times now. Top right corner, there are a lot of really dark areas in our bathrooms, so we've added a light fixture on some of the ends in that area to really illuminate, and we're going through upgrading more of that lighting, because again, it's really been kind of dreary, but lighting's been going well. One of the things here is this is our Live Barn camera. So basically, people subscribe to Live Barn. We don't pay anything. We get a commission off of everybody that signs up. And so this year we upgraded to a 4K system, so it really gives us a really great image. And this is our Learn to Skate team in action on ice there, so the picture there. And again, kind of the big and the small, thanks to HR assembling, our ice skating team is, it's a lot of work. And so we're really, really proud of our whole team that we have there. Some things that we've ordered and are on their way. We've got a cool little, the Zamboni skate aids. We've got a spray cart, our floor scrubber, and some benches that'll go out in the front and the back of the facility. And some of the projects that we're working on, again, the feasibility study, language is pretty close. We anticipate hopefully having that out to bid in the next 7 to 14 days. Sound system upgrades, which was part of the capital improvement process that you guys approved last year. We've had a preliminary proposal on upgrading some of our sound systems there. Working on the parking lot designed with the new Title 16 and having them work on an RFP package so we can go out to bid for that. Water, main water line backflow preventer. So we actually have a backflow preventer on our fire system, but with the project that's going on here, we learned that our building did not have one on the main line. So we just got our bids on that one, so hopefully we'll be going out or getting that one installed soon. Just had an investigate one of the projects that we're looking at is they had a construction well put in when they built the facility, and we use that as irrigation water, but it's not tied to the building. So what we're investigating is what its gallon per minute capabilities are, and then to be able to plumb it to the building so that if we ever lose city water, we can hopefully still operate off of this well. So we're investigating that right now. Upgrading our meeting room to kind of create a version of what's actually in the council conference room right there. And waiting on our in-floor circulation pump to come. So that's a couple of those things. And one of the things that we do is events. So here's been a snapshot of what we've accomplished so far this year. Right there is about 20,000 people through our facility doing all sorts of just great, amazing things. Again, just how much use we get and from all the different types of user groups. We had a great Halloween spooktacular up into a point. Again, great community turnout. We kind of tried to kick it up a level. We had a DJ, we had some lights, and we tried a fog machine. Well, that fog machine that wasn't supposed to set off the fire alarm did. So I do have testimony over here if it's needed. But we tried, and we learned, and we will never do those ever, ever, ever again. And that is my presentation.
Madam Mayor?
Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Bell. I appreciate your good presentation. I have two comments. You mentioned you had a slide with all of your maintenance items, the boiler, the kitchen, the ice relief valve, drinking fountains, whatever, which were maintenance items, I assume. And I'm assuming that they all fell within the maintenance budget that we had approved for the Menard Center. Is that correct?
Through the mayor, yeah, to Councilmember Johnson. All of those, I think 2 of the 3 were in repair and maintenance, and then 1 was in building replacement, but yes. all
But they were
that is-
basically on budget.
Everything's absorbed in budget, correct. There's no additional ask for any
And
of
then
those.
the items that are on order are also within the budget scope, so we're in good shape that way. Is that correct?
100%. That was all part of our,
Okay.
we have the
Okay.
capital equipment replacement.
Sort of a funny joke, but if you could go back to the flag display there, please.
Yes, sir. Got it.
I didn't see the Coast Guard flag.
The Coast Guard is the far right.
Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. There it is. Yeah, okay, thank you. No, the
Trust
far
me,
right
we
is Army.
did research of all the order they're supposed to be. Because they're all, and Space Force is in there. We've got all of them, and
Thank you.
we triple checked that one. Trust me, I wasn't gonna get,
Being an ex-coastie, that's something I always look for.
you're there, you're there.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Graham.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thanks, Scott. A lot of good information there. A couple of kind of housekeeping questions. So with the turf replacement project, that was a capital improvement project that we budgeted this year. Were all those budgeted funds used, or is there some left over that could be swept in future years for other small projects, or?
So our original ask was approximately $318,000. Then if we ran into problems during install, we had come to you guys and we had added funds to make sure we could accommodate that addition so we weren't stopped dead in the water. And that was approximately another $32,000. When they pulled up the turf, the base was in great condition, so we didn't use that extra funding that we asked for. Our original total amount will be the $318,000. The balance of that, again, was $30-some thousand, which is procedurally with finance. I'm not sure, again, Ted, if it goes back to which fund. I know we had chatted about that at one point, but
To the multi-use sports complex.
yeah, because I believe what we did is we had some capital from building replacement the year before, which was rolled over. That's the money that we used to cover this potential addition. And in the end, we didn't need it. So there will be some accounting to be done on that side.
And is that a capital improvement fund, Ted, or is that?
Yes, it's in the, through council mayor to Councilmember Graham, it's in the capital improvement section of the multi-sports complex.
Okay, great, thank you. And a couple other things that, ever since the beginning of the Menard Center some 20 years ago, we've had some great sayings up on the mezzanine which serve to inspire, youth and old farts like myself. Are those going to be replaced? Last time I was there, they had not yet been.
Yeah, those have not been replaced. The intention right now is to come back with kind of a new style, new branding. And it might be images, it might be quotes, but we're looking to kind of update that a little bit and
Okay, great.
use
Yeah,
some new slogans to inspire other people.
Yeah, which is great, a great feeling there. And then the last question is kind of a question, I think you answered the question, but I'm going to kind of bounce it off of Public Works. You said we were unaware that there wasn't a backflow preventer on our main line. Okay, so for Public Works, we've been fining businesses that don't have backflow preventers, even the ones that didn't know that they had them, and businesses spent a lot of money to do that. At the next meeting, perhaps, maybe you can come back with some numbers on how many businesses were impacted by that. I find it unfair, and I hate to say that with government because some people think everything in government is unfair, but I find it unfair that we are fining businesses for something that we ourselves were in violation to. So perhaps the council can take up refunding the paid violations. And
Through the mayor, we haven't fined anyone.
we haven't? Okay. Okay.
But I'll be happy to bring more information back on how many have complied and how many we're still working with. We've been giving allowances and working with all the customers that still need to have backflows, but we have not fined anyone.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Scott. Nice presentation.
You're welcome.
Madam Mayor,
Kathy?
through the mayor, I don't have a question, I just have a comment for you, Scott. Anybody that hasn't been out to the Menard Center lately needs to go out. That new turf is beautiful. I was out there again this weekend, and the building looks amazing. And you do an amazing job with this building and keeping it up, and I just want you to know you're very much appreciated.
Thank you. We have a great team that really does care, and it makes my job easier. But thank you very much.
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Crafton?
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things, Scott. First off, thanks for the presentation. It's always good to see what you're doing over there. It was nice being over there because I was in there. I'm like, man, what is different about the building? And I couldn't figure it out besides the new turf. That was beautiful. Part of it was just because it was so green and new, you know, it's very vibrant. But it was the paint, and that's what I didn't realize. So it really does look good. It's one of those things that you don't realize how dingy things can be until you repaint them. Go, man, either this colors were faded or it was just a little dirty from people's hands rubbing on the wall. So really good job over there. First question, the crosswalk photo there. So looking at it here, I noticed that we redid the curb on the left there. I know we have the ramps in different places, but was there a reason why a ramp wasn't put there as well to that crosswalk?
So the one that we did, well.
It's in this photo right
Yeah,
here.
the one closest to the building was at that point really about a repair. Eric and I have had discussions about how we're gonna properly do all of it at one time. And when we did that repair with a little bit of the stuff in the back, it really was, it basically was a budget. I had about $8,000, so we repaired the loading handicap. We did more repair just to get it.
Yeah.
So especially that piece, because that was one of the bigger trip hazards. So we just got it repaired, and then Eric and I have had discussions about how we go into this next summer about redoing the concrete and putting in the ramps and a little more ADA compliance. Or, yeah.
I was just thinking, I mean, in my case, it was a stroller that I was using,
Yeah.
and I, had to walk the stroller up it. But I'm thinking that if our handicap ever filled up and you have to park somewhere else, that's kind of a long walk, especially with how cold it gets. So good to hear you guys have already thought about it.
Yeah, and what part of what we're looking at doing right now is with the parking lot last phase, in the back of the building, if you exit it to the right, what I'm looking to do is cut back some of that lawn and put in handicap stalls right there, or parking spots, and do the concrete to kind of match that need, so we get a little bit more capacity on the backside.
Wonderful. And then second question I had was, I think we'd call them the sponsorships or the paid advertisements. I know you've talked about finding somebody to start doing this instead of you doing it in the past. Is this something you've started looking into more recently at all? I mean, a lot of times those companies work like on a commission basis where they just say, hey, pay us whenever we find somebody type of thing.
Through the mayor, to Councilmember Crafton. So, yes, advertising I know is something, if I had more time, we would do more. But what I've done is, in support of different organizations, so for example, Colony High School that considers our rink home, what I've done, I have an agreement with them that they can go and sell dasher boards to the public, and then I would get a percentage or commission off of that. So recently, I just did same agreement with Scylla Youth Soccer. So when you're looking out at the turf, the top right panels, they're out selling those right now themselves, and then we get a commission off of that. Have an agreement coming with the U.S. Army, and we're trying to finish up another one with Matt Valley Federal Credit Union and expand that a little bit. So there is progress, and I do have kind of, instead of a company, the organizations that I'm trying to support so then they can pay their ice bills and turf bills.
Glad to give them an option like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay, thank you, Scott.
thank you.
We are now at public hearing. Madam Clerk, please read the ordinance and its accompanying AM by title.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ordinance serial number 2536, amending the fiscal year 2026 budget by appropriating $269,353 from the general fund balance to fund architectural services to provide for the schematic design at 35%, design development 65%, and construction documents for the Wasilla Library expansion. And with that is AM number 2560, contract award to ECI in the amount of $269,353 for the design of the Wasilla Public Library expansion project.
The public hearing on ordinance serial number 25-36 is now open. Anyone wishing to testify, please come forward and begin by stating your first and last name. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to the dais. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance serial number 2536 and AM number 2560?
Madam Mayor, I move ordinance serial 2536 and AM 2560.
Is there a second?
Rubio seconds.
It's been moved by Councilmember Johnson and seconded by Councilmember Rubio to adopt ordinance serial number 2536 and approve AM number 2560. Is there discussion? Hearing none. Is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes. Okay. We are now at persons to be heard. A time for members of the public to share their views with the council. Please note that this is not a question and answer period. Speakers may be referred to administration and items raised may be taken under advisement. And we don't have anybody signed up, so we close persons to be heard. We are now at consent agenda. Madam Clerk, please read the items for approval under the consent agenda by title.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I believe we only have 2 items. First is regular meeting minutes, October 27, 2025, and 1 AM number 2559, contract award to FE Technologies Group in the amount of $43,340 for the conversion of the library collection to RFID.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as read?
Madam Mayor, I move the consent agenda as read.
Is there a second?
Second, Councilman Johnson.
It's been moved by Councilmember Crafton and seconded by Councilmember Johnson to approve the consent agenda as read. Is there an objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes. Okay, and we are now at unfinished business. Madam Clerk, please read the AM by title.
Thank you. And with it, Madam Mayor, I think the intent of council was to marry that with the resolutions. So we'll start with resolution serial number 2536, amending the fiscal year 2026 budget by transferring $115,780 from the Newcomb Park restroom project to the Bumpus softball and soccer restroom projects for the purpose of funding electrical service installation, and AM number 2556, approving a utility service agreement to Matanuska Electric Association in the amount of $115,780 for utility extensions related to restroom facilities construction at Bumpus Recreation Area.
Okay. The motion to approve AM 2556 was made by Councilmember Graham at the October 13th meeting, and it's currently pending. But I need a motion to approve Resolution 2536.
Madam Mayor, in addition to approving Resolution 2536, I move AM number 2556 to be married with that vote.
Rubio seconds it.
The motion has been made by Councilmember Graham and seconded by Councilmember Rubio. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Mr. Graham?
I did just have one question for Finance Director. So we're transferring $116,000 essentially from a CIP project that's been on the books for a couple of years. What is going to be the balance remaining for that CIP project for Newcomb Park? And then a second question is going to be for Public Works as to the status of the negotiations with DOT about the park site there. But if Mr. Leonard, if you could go first, thank you.
Through the mayor to Councilmember Graham, there will be $134,220 remaining in that line item.
Thank you, sir.
Is there further discussion? Eric?
I have a follow-up for Mr. Graham. Yeah, thank you for asking that question. So, try to make this short. So, the reason it's on hold has to do with the Main Street Couplet project and the idea that DOT's design for the Main Street Couplet drainage took a pipe past our park, and that drug the federal government into reviewing all of the right-of-way along the parks. We were able to, and what that did was it brought to attention DOT right-of-way that much of that park, almost the whole park, is in the right-of-way, and it is in a violation to DOT. And so to save the park and to prevent issues with the couplet, we changed the drainage for the better and moved that out of the way. So the long story is we have to circle back with DOT once the Main Street Couplet project is certified and is moving on its way as a project to come up with a long-term plan that will satisfy the right-of-way concerns. We have the ongoing discussion about the tunnel. We have the ongoing discussion about the vagrancy on the corner of Bella Way. I always call it the wrong, I think it's Bella Way. And so we're working with DOT on all of that. We've got requests into the governor and DOT commissioner to help us address all of those. And I think we'll be able to talk cohesively as they start to nip away at those requests. So it's with the commissioner and it's with the governor to get support to fix those three issues in that general area.
Thank you, Mr. Saul. So this issue that we're having with DOT would not affect any sort of relocating the vault, essentially. So we wouldn't, essentially we're just trading electricals or part of a project for a different project. Is that correct?
Correct. We see the relationship with the bathrooms and the parks in general, and so that's why the request is to move those monies till we figure out the larger project at Newcomb Park.
Thank you.
Mr. Johnson?
Madam Mayor, a follow-on to I guess it's going to go to both Finance and Public Works. With the balance of the SIP project at $134K, one of my pet projects that I've talked in years past is the repair of the beach and filling in any of those holes. Is there any chance we can get that done before next season use of the park?
Through the mayor, the current wording on that CIP we'd have to modify the allowable use. It's pretty specific to bathroom use. But we'd be happy to bring forward legislation if that's the will of the council to repurpose those monies for more immediate repairs. That work is outside the right-of-way, so we'd need to work with the state on the lake, but if that's something that the council wants to see, we can make that a priority.
Follow up to that question, well, what you've got currently is big pitfalls and holes which are a danger to the public. I mean, if you can't fill in the holes and you have a danger where people are sitting by the bench and you've got a 2-foot hole that people can fall in, little kids can bang their heads on, I mean, we should just close down the park because it's such a danger. And I'm there because, I mean, I've seen it with my own grandchild. So this is something that I'm really worried about. It's not a trivial matter that should be just brushed under the rug. Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Crafton?
Thank you, Mayor. Not sure if this is good at finance or public works here. What's the purpose of moving the money out of a current CIP to another CIP when, I mean, the goal, my guess in the end, is still to redo the bathrooms at Newcomb. So we're gonna end up putting the money back in there anyways. Is there some type of advantage of doing it this way?
Eric?
Through the mayor, it's funding that is allocated to bathrooms in the park. The changes that are gonna be required for the adhering to the right-of-way with DOT's concerns are probably gonna fall under the master plan. We're gonna need to think pretty creatively about it. So our thought on moving the monies was the same color, if you will, and the fact that we aren't sure when we'll make progress with that project. So that was the reason for moving some of those funds. And then if there's a known cost moving forward, we'll ask for that in the future.
So it doesn't sound like there's a real benefit. It's just a matter of the project's on hold, so we'd rather pull it from here than the general fund. Because I mean, we're gonna have to replace the funding anyways.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. This is
Okay.
allocated funding. It doesn't affect the budget, and if we can't make progress on it, we felt that was a better move than coming back for more funding from the general fund.
Okay.
Okay. So now is there any objection?
Chair. The motion before the council is the adoption of AM number 2556 and resolution 2536.
Is there objection to the motion? The motion is passed. And now we are on to new business. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to remind the council, we'll start with the first two ordinances. Both of these are first reading, introduction only. Recommended public hearing date of November 24th. Certainly, the council can override, but under Robert's Rules of Order, really the debate is centered around the merits of the introduction. So first is ordinance serial number 2537, repealing Wasilla Municipal Code, Chapter 1659, Downtown Overlay District, and amending 1610-025 definitions, 1615-010 overlay districts, and 16-120-10 decision subject to appeal to remove the Downtown Overlay District and references to that district from Wasilla Municipal Code Title 16.
Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move ordinance serial number 2537 for public hearing on November 24th.
Is there a second?
Madam Mayor, Crafton seconds.
It has been moved by Councilmember Graham and seconded by Councilmember Crafton to move for public hearing on when?
Through the chair to Madam Mayor, to introduce ordinance serial number 2537 for public hearing on November 24th, 2025.
Okay. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you. Madam Mayor, I asked to move this to new business just so that we could ask the Planning Commission to be a little bit more specific in the staff report. It mentions, you know, the Planning Commission had a detailed discussion and had some significant concerns. The Planning Commission minutes weren't real specific as to what those concerns were, so when we have it open for discussion next meeting or on the 24th, if we could know what the results of that discussion were rather than just an up or down vote. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson?
Madam Mayor, this is just more of a comment than anything. I basically support the idea of getting rid of the overlay district with one exception. In the current regulation, we have 1655.025, which is prohibited uses. And if we kill the whole thing, we're gonna kill the prohibited uses, as far as I understand, from the downtown area. Some of these things I really would not want to see in our downtown area. So I want to make sure that when we kill it, we know what we're killing. Thank you.
Holly?
Thank you. One comment, Councilmember Johnson, that may be helpful, and it may not change your perspective on the prohibited uses, but when and if a overlay district is removed, it reverts back to whatever the underlying district is and the prohibited uses of that district. So here, this is wholly a commercial district, I believe. And so that means all those prohibited uses from the commercial district and the permitted uses, so it's definitely worth considering, but it doesn't leave it open without any regulation. That's useful.
If I may, through the chair to Councilmember Graham, I don't know if it helps, the city attorney agrees, but when I read it, while maybe the minutes were action minutes, really, I felt like the basis of the decision was articulated in the whereas clauses passed by, I believe unanimously by the Planning Commission as to their reasoning for repealing it, so we're recommending repeal.
Okay. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion passes. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Next, ordinance up for introduction, recommended public hearing date November 24, 2025, ordinance serial number 2538, amending the fiscal year 2026 budget by accepting and appropriating $340,000 for an amendment to the Matanuska-Susitna Borough dispatch contract to add 2 new full-time positions at MATCOM, 1 fire and EMS call taker and 1 dispatcher.
Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move ordinance 2538.
Is there a second?
Second by Councilman Johnson.
The motion has been made by Councilmember Graham and seconded by Councilmember Johnson. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Mr. Graham?
Once again, I move this to try and get a little bit more information at the next meeting, November 24th, when we will take action on this ordinance. I just wanted to ask MATCOM if you could come up with a little bit better org chart for us concerning, not just adding these 2 positions here, but also resolution serial number 2535, which is a retitling of a supervisor position to a dispatch supervisor / training coordinator. And so we can kind of see how all that lays out compared to what we currently have. Thank you.
Okay. Is there further discussion? Ms. Rubio?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On that note, just for the next meeting, we have the fiscal year 2026. Can we get fiscal year 2027 and 28? So we can look forward.
Costs.
The cost breakdown. Thank you.
I could give a projection subject to them appropriating monies in 27, 28.
That would be great. Thank you, Ted.
Mr. Johnson?
Madam Mayor, and I don't want to discuss the details of this at the current time. However, I think next time I would like a few questions answered. The way I'm reading it is that Matsu Borough will give us the $340,000 for these 2 positions, but it's a 7-year contract. Is there any contract escalation in the following years that come with this, or are we going to eat the escalation? Seeing as this is a MATCOM budget increase, I'm sort of curious as to what our staffing level is today in terms of the number of positions approved and the number of positions filled. So if you could bring that next time as we bring this forward for approval, I'd certainly like that information. Thank you.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there objection to the motion? The motion passes. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I believe our final item of business this evening is Resolution Serial Number 2535, approving the retitling of one existing supervisor position to Dispatch Supervisor Training Coordinator at MATCOM.
Is there a motion to move this introduction?
To adopt.
Or to adopt, sorry.
Madam Mayor, I move resolution serial 2535.
Is there a second?
Rubio seconds.
The motion's been made by Councilmember Graham and seconded by Councilmember Rubio. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Mr. Johnson.
so we're taking a union position and we're moving it from grade 9 to 10. Do we have any concerns that have been voiced from the union in this particular adventure? Okay. And the second one is, again, going back to our staffing level, do we have actually people in line for this promotion? Or are we going to be going out onto the street looking for a new person to bring into MATCOM for this role?
I'll let Lori explain this to you.
Thank you. Lori Creaky, MATCOM. The position will be opened to current dispatchers that meet the qualifications. There's the job description there for you. I have several people that have expressed interest in it, so I'm sure we'll have a few people that will interview for the position. What else was the questions?
So I went through the list of what you're looking for, and some of those things are highly specific. And the question then is if you can't find anybody to meet all of your requirements, are you going to open this up to the outside as well, or what you're thinking?
With our contract, we have to open it up internally first, and then if I cannot find someone internally, then I can't open it to the public, so. I do feel that we have some people that are qualified that are internal.
Mr. Graham.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And this is actually just for our finance director. So Ted, is this, it talks about retitling a supervisor position to dispatch supervisor. So we're not adding a new PERS position here, but if this contract, goes away, this 7-year contract goes away, or doesn't get approved, does PERS require us to stay at that salary level? Or when we retitle it back to dispatch supervisor, is there any effect on PERS?
Through the mayor to Councilmember Graham, my understanding with the discussion with HR, as long as we have the main title, dispatch supervisor, with that / training, that we are okay with PERS. And we still only have 5 dispatch supervisors with 1 specialized dispatch supervisor, if that makes sense.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
Is there further discussion? Ms. Rubio.
Madam Mayor, thank you. I guess really I just want an explanation of reading all of this, the staff report and the position description doesn't really warrant a new title and a pay increase. So maybe you can persuade me.
Well,
Help me
I
understand
disagree.
Why we need this.
I disagree. It is a lot of duties, a lot of extra functions there that they're going to be doing. They will be responsible for updating our entire training manual and keeping it current with our, and relevant to changes that are in the industry, making sure that they understand our contracts as well. And we're meeting the needs of our contracts with our, both DPS, Alaska State Troopers, and all of that, as well as fire and EMS. The position is also going to be over the quality assurance program. We are now adding in emergency police dispatch protocols, so that's 3 protocol dispatches that we'll be doing. They'll be over that quality assurance team and helping lead them to do all the quality assurance on our calls. We have a lot new technology that hasn't existed at MATCOM before. So there's just a lot of new things that they're gonna have to be on top of their game with and be training the new people as well as the current staff.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
So changing their job duties is basically what it sounds like. And so I'm having a hard time with it.
Well, those job duties haven't existed before for somebody there. We have fallen off the wayside on training, and training has not been an easy thing to do. It's been all over the place, and this is gonna put it all in one person's realm to be able to manage and help keep our training where it should be.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Madam Mayor, I have a follow-up to Councilman Rubio's question, and I think she has a very good train of thought there. The question is, do you have any other grade 10s as the supervisors staff at the current time?
No.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Lori, for answering these questions here. The one question I would have, is there another similar position in Alaska or similarly sized out-of-state position at MATCOM that has this position, and is this new level of remuneration, basically $13,000 wage and benefit increase, is that consistent with what other dispatch supervisors / training coordinators make
Yeah,
for doing those duties?
When we had the quality assurance supervisor, what they did with that is they added that position, got an extra 5% added to their supervisor wages. That, in my opinion, didn't cover everything that we needed it to cover. Quality assurance is just a piece. The training has been severely neglected, and it hasn't been updated in years. So changing this to a training and quality assurance supervisor, well, it's training coordinator with the duties also of training, of quality assurance, giving them the pay that they need, that I feel is warranted for the extra duties they're gonna be having to keep on top of. Yes, there are plenty of other dispatch centers that do this. The one that I came from in Douglas County, Lawrence, Kansas, very similar, about 130,000 population. We had a training coordinator that handled all of that. They helped with the new hire process, the onboarding, training, quality assurance. It's very common in 911 centers. So.
And back to part of the same question, is the new level of remuneration, consistent or comparable with other centers that have somebody performing the same function?
Absolutely. It's very comparable. I don't know that there's anybody in Alaska doing it. I didn't reach out to the other PSAPs here in Alaska to see what they were doing as far as quality assurance and training.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, is there objection to the motion? Hearing none,
Madam Mayor, I would call in this case for a roll call vote, please.
Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is on the adoption of resolution serial number 2535. Councilmember Cottle.
Yes.
Councilmember Graham.
Yes.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Yes.
Councilmember Crafton.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Rubio.
Yes.
Madam Mayor, the motion passes unanimously with Cottle, Graham, Schmidt, Crafton, Johnson, and Rubio in support.
Okay, thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
All right, we are on to communications. Madam Clerk, there is none. I'll get caught up. And now we are at audience comments. Anybody in the audience? Senator Wilson, you have 3 minutes.
Make sure to use
Please
every.
begin by stating your first and last name.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For the record, this is David Wilson. I'm city resident. I just have a brief comment, I guess. I was looking at the packet and the presentation didn't quite line up, and I just want to know if the presentation would be available afterwards, or just so I can get a full slide deck of the presentation that was done today. It doesn't have to be answered, obviously, but that was it. Thank you.
Did you want me to respond?
Yes, please.
Absolutely. The presentation was not in the packet, but there were copies out
Yes.
available for the public, and I'm happy to share my copy with,
Just for clarification, it wasn't the same presentation that was in the packet in the back.
Oh, well,
There was more slides in the presentation that were delivered.
Yeah, Jamie, ours was missing some. I had to open up my email and pull the copy from there. I think that's what he's referring to.
oh, I don't know that. I'll have to look into.
Yes, thank you.
okay, anyone else in the audience? I will close audience comments and bring it back to the dais. Madam Clerk?
Madam Mayor, we will see everybody here next regular meeting on November 24th, and that's all I have.
Attorney Wells?
No comment, Mayor.
Councilmember Cottle?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm really excited to hear that we have a new city planner. Yay, finally. It's been a long time coming. Very excited, and I'm assuming you're our new city planner?
I am.
Yes. I'm gonna bring her forward.
Okay, awesome. Other than that, if you haven't been to the Menard Center, get out there, see all the changes. It is beautiful. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Councilmember Johnson?
Madam Mayor and Council, thank you for a good meeting. When I first started back, I received a packet from the Wasilla Comp Plan Chamber of Commerce survey results. I went through it, and there were a lot of good results here, except for the fact that it was based on 21 people's response. So I'm hoping that we're not taking a whole lot of stock in this report based on 21 responses. So other than that, thank you.
Councilmember Crafton?
Thank you, Mayor. Just had one question for our chief, if I could. I remember, I feel like I remember when we met at the police station when I'd gotten the awesome tour of WPD a while back, we were talking about some of the vagrancy and homelessness that happens around the city. And if I recall, you had mentioned you were working on looking into our code to see what we could do about it. Have you been able to make any progress on that by chance?
We're still looking at what we can do and what our options are. I feel like we got some pretty good code right now. Our issue is we're getting creative on some of our local transient population that are in certain corners and trying to see who owns that piece of land and working with them to make the official notifications. I know that City of Palmer and Anchorage has been coming out with ordinances and laws. I think that our laws are right in place, but I think that it's a compounding issue of lot of other matters that is lack of enforcement of prosecution through our district attorney's office. And among some other things that we're trying to get creative on how we can circumvent that. I'm very well aware of our homeless population in the Wasilla, city of Wasilla. It's just kind of getting creative on how we can address that issue and make it so that we're actually able to enforce something and it sticks.
Okay, yeah, I know I was spending some time, well, I know Holly's got something to say, but I know when I've looked into what was possible, there's a lot of concerns around what's legal, really, because there's a lot of constitutional violations that start getting encroached upon. And so I'm curious what Holly has to say about it as well.
Well, those are very astute comments. I agree with you, but I think one of the other things you'll notice in other communities, they may have passed laws in order to incorporate certain due process requirements or property right requirements or things that were based in laws that have now been abrogated or repealed. And so you'll see other communities changing their laws because they had adopted these other laws, and now they can be more prohibitive, more restrictive in certain ways. Wasilla doesn't have that. It doesn't have the need to do that, at least not on the same level. So that's one of the things you'll see too. You might see a lot of communities changing laws, in essence, to get back to laws that provide a lot of the tools we have in Wasilla. On the other side, we still have a lot of nuances out there that we have to navigate, the chief has to navigate as well, so just wanted to clarify.
Thanks, Holly. And one other follow-up question, if I could, Mayor. Since we were talking about enforcement just as a whole, I know it seems like every time that there is AST needs backup, I see WPD is the one stepping in. And it seems like it's become more and more frequently that WPD is spending time outside the city helping AST, which then in turn, I'm hearing more and more concerns from people about speeding issues, running red lights, just general traffic concerns. What are we doing to work on that? Because I mean, it seems like everything from Church to Main Street is 55, 65 miles an hour nowadays instead of the opposed 45 that it's supposed to be.
You're right. We do help the Alaska State Troopers primarily because they are local, the jurisdiction that's closest to us for our operating area. A little recap is that we are state certified officers. We have jurisdiction anywhere in the state. Our operating area is the city of Wasilla. As I mentioned before, is that we do help them out with agency assist, wherever the case may be. Typically, when we do get involved, typically it's a violent offense against a person where there's an officer safety or a safety for the people that are on scene for that. That's how we would respond. We have standing policies set in place that we're going to remain an officer or two inside the city at all given times to handle those calls. But like I have mentioned before, is that regardless if we are helping the troopers out or not, we're reactionary with the amount that we're doing. But given sometimes the levels of the offense that's occurring, the calls that we have will take a less of a priority depending on if it's a non-person or a non-violent offense. Meaning if there's a shoplift or a public assist that's pending, and there is an active DV or an assault against a person, we are going to prioritize that given what the nature of the call is, where the location is at, and if we have the available resources to help out. The only traffic, and I've said this before multiple times, that the only traffic enforcement that we do is if we have downtimes from doing calls, but a majority of it comes through the Alaska Highway Safety Office grant through the Click It or Ticket or DUI. Because with 3 individuals that I'm having, they are working traffic when they can, but to have a primary traffic enforcement out here, I don't have it dedicated for that. Majority of our traffic stops is on grant when they're doing it or downtime. But yes, to answer your question, we do help them out with agency assist, but I also give the freedom and the flexibility for the sergeants to dictate with a standing policy is that we're going to take care of the citizens of the Wasilla first. And then if that case is that the scene is safe and we're ready to go and clear, 9 times out of 10, the officer that is assistant is clearing that scene and then they're responding back to the city. hopefully that answered your question in a short detail, but we can certainly get into more of that if you have some more questions.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're able to help, I'm not saying I'm glad that they're the ones that have to respond, but it's good that we're in a position to be able to help out when needed. I think it's a longer conversation, so I'll keep it there. I appreciate the response, Chief. That's all, Madam Mayor.
Councilmember Graham.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Number one, thank you for attending today. It's good to see former Commissioner Seals here with us today, as well as, of course. Yeah. But it's good to see you here today. Hopefully we'll see you on the 24th as well. I am excited to see that we will be taking action on the Downtown Improvement District ordinance and look forward to doing what we've been trying to do for many years, which is to revitalize the downtown area, and hopefully this will be a step in the right direction. But just remember that the Downtown Improvement District was a step in the right direction at the time, and it just hasn't worked out that way. So it's good to know that we can go back and say, well, that didn't work. Let's try something else. So, and I thank the Planning Commission for their works on that. And I also wanted to welcome aboard the new planner. Hope your hip waders don't have leaks in them, because they're going to get wet. So, and of course, wanted to remind folks, Alaska Municipal League annual conference is coming up shortly. If you haven't already made plans to be there for all or part of that, please do so, because there's a lot of great information there, a lot of great people to talk to. Just as we are saying perhaps we made a mistake with our Downtown Improvement District, we're not the only city or municipality to have made mistakes in the past, and we certainly want to learn from others that have made mistakes or changes, or made positive changes as well. And AML is a great place to do that. So I look forward to having as many council members there as we can. And finally, I wanted to remind people that today is the 250th anniversary of the United States Marine Corps. The United States Marine Corps, of course, was founded primarily in response to piracy on the high seas, to protect American interests on the high seas, business interests and such on the high seas. And for 250 years, the Marine Corps has stood as an organization with absolute integrity. You may not agree with what the Marine Corps is asked to do, but when the Marine Corps is asked to do something, the Marine Corps does it. And every member of the Marine Corps steps to that line and puts whatever is necessary on the line to accomplish the objectives, of the United States Air Force. So to those of you that have served, I thank you. To those of you that served during the time I served, I thank you. To those of you currently serving and will be serving in the future, thank you. Happy birthday.
Councilmember Schmidt.
I want to say thank you, Scott. That was a very good presentation on the Menard Center. I'm looking forward to getting down there and taking my son down there and enjoying some of the new improvements that's been put in place. And thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.
Councilmember Rubio.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say thank you to the staff that decorated and made Halloween amazing at City Hall and throughout to the Menard Center. My kids did come trick-or-treating through the city, and they thought the decorations were beautiful, and all, of course, the characters. The Menard Center was great for the free skate up until the fog, right? It's all good. It was great. It was awesome. Anyways, really enjoy those kind of things. I think it pulls the community together, and I just want to say awesome job to the city.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we do have a new city planner. Jennifer, if you'd stand up, please, till they can all recognize you. Let me put you on the spot. This is Jennifer. She's from Eagle River. So she is kind of like a homegrown. She just kind of took a sabbatical.
Matsu Plus.
Matsu Plus.
I'm Jennifer Hilliard.
Yes. She's our new city planner, and she comes highly credentialed. We're looking forward to what she will, bring to the city, because, she comes from a city that it was growing. So she knows what it is to be in one of the fastest growing cities in the state. So, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
And tomorrow is Veterans Day, and the ceremony will be at the Wall at 11. So I don't know who and all's gonna be there. I don't think any of our federal people will be there. But there is, a celebration. And like Miss Rubio, Halloween was great. If you didn't come, you really missed it, because everybody went above and beyond. Because people was coming through and they're like, oh, what's the theme for next year? Oh, what are you gonna do for Christmas? You know, so it was well received. And with that, directors, thank you for your time. I appreciate everything you do.